Hi guys, it's Wise Dragon Comics. I'm back with another video. This video is going to be about dialogue balloon placement. Some of you probably wondered how to make the most, how to get the most effect out of your dialogue balloons without causing them to get in the way of what you're actually drawing and not placing them in a spot that might be bad for the reader to read. For instance, let's say panel here. We have one here. 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 So I'm going to use these three panels as my example. When making dialogue balloons, you want to apply the last thing I was explaining, which was about panel flow. You want to actually put your dialogue balloons in a way that actually flows with the way that the panels would go. There's also a couple other tips and things you might want to think about when you're placing them. Actually, drawing in general for each panel, what you want to avoid is actually putting things right in the center. You can put something near the center, but just not directly in the center. Because if you put it in the center, it slightly messes up the panel flow sometimes. That's why if you want to draw something, you would actually put it a little off kilter and further towards the edge. This way, so the panel flow will keep going, and it'll get the person who's reading, like let's say if they were reading left to right, they would keep going, and then it would stop about right here to notice the image, and then they're almost close. If there was a magic field, you can see how the outside circle goes right into the next panel. Now you would also do the same thing here, but not put it in the middle, because as you can see here, it just sits right here. It would actually make something more or less its focus a little off kilter towards either this part or this part, depending on what you wanted in your next panel. That's part of the reason that layout pages exist, is so you can actually plan for what you want to put in your panels before you actually put a panel down. But if you were to put something here, like this outside invisible field, it brings it right down here, or if it was here, it will bring it right down here. But let me get to the specifics about the dialogue balloons. One key thing that you want to avoid when you're placing your dialogue balloons is never putting 50 words into a single balloon. Even explanations that are long and need to be actually stated in your comic, 50 words, it gets to be a bit daunting. Even 40 words can actually be a bit daunting. And another thing you want to avoid is don't put like a huge explanation in the middle of a fight. You actually will slow it down just way too much. If anything, what you want to aim to do is let your is to slow your reader down gradually. So either you could draw, like if couple characters were fighting, you could make one of them start to hesitate and then actually go into the explanation. But going to like maybe a 10 or 20 word balloon and then go into maybe your 40 word. Although in the middle of a battle, you might not want to put a huge explanation in it at all. But as I was saying, like you want to avoid putting things in the circle in general. You also want to avoid putting dialogue balloons actually even close to the center. Like that might be okay, but it would actually be safer to actually put your dialogue balloon closer to the edge. And actually make it, like, see how it's all close to the edge? Actually make it close to over here. Then if you were to make another one, make them closer to the edge of the panel. Like spots like these. Usually, it's a really easy and simple way to actually just aim for the dialogue balloons to actually be in the corners, closest to the corners, rather than be somewhat in the middle. Because when they're in a corner, it actually helps the panel flow. Usually a very easy method is to actually put them diagonally from each other. Like starting up in the upper, if you make your manga from reading from left to right, it will be easiest to make a dialogue balloon in the top left corner and then make one towards the bottom right corner. See how the panel flow goes? And then in the next panel, it will be the same. Then you have your panel flow going like this. And then you could put it somewhere also towards the edge. Make your panel flow going here. And that's basically the lesson half for today. It was a short one, but sometimes even important things don't need too much of an explanation. But as you notice, panel flow, as I mentioned in another video, it's actually quite important. It can get a lot of things done without having to go too much into detail about something or having to actually draw in a certain way and put a lot of effort, because this way you can actually save time. And that'll conclude today's video. This is Wise Dragon Comics, encouraging you guys to keep drawing, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next time, probably next Friday.